What is up, guys, and welcome back to the sit-down videos. It's been a while since I've done these, but I think this year is the year where I bring them back. And this one's all about how to unfuck your life and how to turn it around. And believe me, I've been there numerous times before. I may even get there once again, but I feel as though I've got my life in order now, and I'm at the age where I know how things work. So if you're watching this video and you feel as though you need some advice on how to turn your life around and how to sort yourself out, get out of the mess that you're in, then you have stumbled upon the right video. Now, the first thing you need to do is understand that it is you who is responsible for being in the position that you're in, not anybody else. You can't be making excuses. It is you. You are the result of why you are here today, but that's fine because we can fix this, okay? What you need to do is identify what needs to change. So you need to take a little bit of time out, get yourself away from all the chaos, and just sit down, think, and reflect, okay? Write down what the problems are. Write down what needs fixing, and write down, ideally, what position you want to be in, okay? The next thing you need to do is to sort out your health and your fitness and your nutrition, your overall well-being. Because I would imagine most people whose life is an absolute mess and they need to change it around, they're probably not on top of their health. They're probably not looking their best. They're probably not feeling their best. And one of the very easiest things that you can do to get yourself in the proper position and mindset to attack these new goals and change your life is to actually sort out your diet, sort out your fitness, okay? It's connected. Your brain and your body is connected. If you're eating garbage and you're not exercising, then you're going to have brain fog. You're not going to be in the best mood, and you're just not going to have that mindset to attack the day, okay? You don't have to go crazy and follow some ridiculously over-the-top routine, but just get back into a routine of doing some sort of exercise where you're pushing yourself. Because usually after doing the exercise, you feel good. You get a rush of endorphins. And if you've done something hard, then it's more likely that you'll be able to continue doing hard things after you've been to the gym. Get rid of all the crap in your house. Go on a healthy food shop or order healthy food and start by optimizing your diet and eating nutrient-dense foods, okay? If you do this for a couple of days, it'll be crazy just how rapidly your mindset changes. And if you keep doing it, obviously your body's going to change. And if your body changes for the better, then that just puts you in a better position for sorting your life out. The next thing I'd recommend you do is changing your environment, okay? And your environment, where you live, both the house, the apartment, the location of the city, has a massive impact on your mindset and the opportunities around you. So if you live in a place where there's minimal opportunities, you live in the most depressing area ever, and your actual house, apartment, whatever it is, the place you live is depressing, it's going to be hard to try and get away from that negativity and that lack of inspiration. So some of the biggest leaps in my life and my career have been when I've just relocated. Okay, to begin with, it was a relocation from one area of the UK to another area of the UK, and it made a drastic difference. Same thing again when I moved from the UK to another country, one which had more sunshine, one which was by the beach. Drastic difference. Everyone has different needs, everyone has different preferences, but it's going to help with you changing your life and rebranding yourself if you just change your environment. Next thing I would do is to change your friendship group. I would imagine if you are in this situation that you're in watching this video, you probably have a friendship group which consists of individuals who don't really have their life sorted out. Maybe they're in a similar situation to you. They probably have got their priorities all wrong, in which case it would make sense that you spend less time with these people because they're not really doing anything productive and they're not going to help you with you wanting to transform your life. And if you are actually trying to change and improve, they're not going to understand it and they're probably going to give you shit. So my recommendation would be you could cut them off if you wanted to, but just spend less time with them, okay? Actively try and find other friends to hang out with that are on the same mission as you, but that is easier said than done, and it might just be a case where you temporarily have to spend more time alone, which is fine because it means you have more time to focus on the things that need to be done in order for you to sort your life out. I would then say, understand that you have to focus completely on your career. This comes as the absolute priority of everything, okay? Forget family, forget friends, forget relationships, forget leisure time. Career time is the absolute priority, and you should be spending the majority of the time in your day working on yourself and your career. Now, it's not going to be forever, but at this point in time, you need to sort it out because it's clearly in a situation where it needs to be sorted out. And I would imagine your finances also need to be sorted out. So sort your career out first, then the finances will sort themselves out. Then you can start enjoying life a little bit more, spending time with partners, relationships, friendships, things like that. During these periods of time when you are making a pretty drastic change, it can feel, no doubt, daunting, scary, and fill you full of anxiety. And in these cases, it would be great if you could have somebody there to talk to and somebody there to support you. But I would imagine most of the time when you're making these changes, those people are not going to be there. Either you're doing this by yourself with no support, or the people around you aren't really going to be supporting you, or they're just not qualified to give you that support and discuss those things with you that need to be discussed. And that is when I would recommend, for this period of time, maybe investing into a therapist. Okay, having somebody there to support you, somebody there to assist you and discuss things if you are having these fears and these doubts. And that's where BetterHelp come into the picture. All you need to do is go onto their website, fill in a questionnaire, and once you've filled everything in, you'll be allocated to a suitable therapist who will be able to help you out with whatever issues that you might have. And the best thing is, if that therapist isn't the right fit for you, then you can just change for another therapist until you find the right one. And all these therapists who are working under BetterHelp are fully qualified and have their qualifications which are required in order to actually be a therapist. So you'd be in good hands. And not only will this give you this extra support that you might need, but they'll also be there to hold you accountable. Okay, if you share with them what you're going through, what you want to do, the goals you set for yourself, then they're going to be there to check in with you every week to make sure that you're doing things that you said you'd be doing and going through any issues which you might have, whether it be breaking bad habits or just going through this tough period of time. So if you are interested in working with them, I highly recommend that you do give them a try. Use the link in my description and get a discount on your purchase. Which brings me on to my next point, and that is you're probably going to be better off being single at this point in time. If your life is a mess and it needs sorting out, how on earth can you be in a relationship and look after somebody else if you can't even look after yourself? Okay, it's time for you to be a little bit selfish and focus on yourself, right? I know, I'm sure you know, in order to have a happy relationship, it requires time, it requires effort, and it might even require a little bit of money, okay? So these three things you don't really have right now. You can't afford to give them away because those things should be put towards you focusing on yourself and working on your career. That doesn't mean you can never have a relationship. It just means at this point in time, for the next couple of months, whilst you sort yourself out, just don't bother with relationships, okay? Don't bother wasting your time on dates. Don't bother trying to please your partner as much as possible. It sounds harsh, and I think it's going to be tricky if you are currently in a relationship, in which case I would talk to them and say, hey, look, I've got some stuff to sort out. My life is all over the place. If you still want to be with them, but tell them I'm going to need a little bit more time to myself to focus on the things that I need to focus on. So please understand that, respect that. And if they don't respect that and they complain that you're not spending time with them, then okay, call it a day. They're just going to be a headache, just going to cause you stress. If they do support you, then that's great. At least allocate a little bit of time throughout the week that you spend with them to keep them happy, but the rest of that time needs to be focused on yourself. The next thing you need to do is fix your finances, okay? So eliminate any unnecessary spending, at least have a look at where your money is going and cut out the things where you don't need to be spending and put some money aside. Just live off the essentials until you can start getting some money in. If you already have loads of money coming in and you're actually rich, then that's obviously something you don't need to worry about. But most people who need to change their life often go through this transformation within their career. They have to quit one job to start another job, or maybe pursue the job they've always wanted to pursue, in which case there's usually a period of time where they're not earning anything. Okay, and that might be going on for a couple of months. So you need to save money and be careful with your spending until it starts coming in. Then you will need to understand that you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. When you are changing your life, trying new things, embarking on new ventures, it is going to be scary. And if you want to see some change in your life and you want to see some development within yourself, it requires you to step out your comfort zone and stop doing the same thing which you've always been doing. If you keep doing the things you've always been doing, then you're just going to stay in the same place that you've always been in. So understand that there is going to be some sort of need for you to step out of your comfort zone. You'll need to develop a positive mindset because it is going to be challenging. It is going to be maybe a little bit risky. You will be stepping into the unknown. And as I mentioned before, maybe a little bit lonely. So you have to keep filling yourself with positive thoughts. Always be optimistic. Okay, don't have pessimistic thoughts and thinking that the worst is going to happen. Yes, it would make sense for you to plan for maybe some worst case scenarios, but you always want to be thinking of best case scenarios and always just reaffirming and reassuring yourself that everything's going to be okay. You have to have this positive self-talk. One of the reasons why I've had the success I've had is because I've always said to myself, things are going to be okay. Like, no matter what, everything's going to be okay. And if you look back to some of the, I don't know, the worst moments in your life where you thought this was going to be like the end of the world, when you look back at it now, it really wasn't so bad. At the time, you thought it was the worst thing ever. When you look back, all these things really aren't that bad. This is probably one of the biggest things that will leave you feeling fulfilled and happy. Pursue something that actually makes you feel like you're doing something useful, that gives you a purpose. It could be the most silly, ridiculous thing, but if you feel as though you're doing something for a reason, if you're doing something which you feel as though is giving you a purpose, that will give you that extra drive which you need in order to continue doing what you're doing, particularly when you don't necessarily feel like doing it. And with all that said, just keep it moving, celebrate the small wins, eliminate distractions, and just stay on the grind, okay? Once you've got to the point where you need to be and you feel as though your life is in order, you've sorted it out, then you can start to enjoy life a little bit more and do the things which you maybe had to sacrifice initially whilst you're making this change, okay? It's only temporary, right? And you are in complete control of your destiny and you sorting yourself out. So get it done.